Welcome to Bridging the Gap to Connections, the talk show, where we begin by sharing your stories and spotlighting your shine. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bridging the Gap to Connections. Today I'm doing the Friday feature, and today's feature is with Aron O'Dowd. Let me give you a little bit about Aron. Who is Aron O'Dowd? He's an intuitive interviewer. As someone whose eyesight began to falter at a young age of 7, Aron is living proof that what some consider impossible is possible when you believe. Today, Aron's adaptive lifestyle has allowed him to thrive. He's a triathlon and an unquenchable spirit, a love of sports, and a heart for people. His outlook is, let's do this, because he thrives on obstacles and challenges. He loves to interview people he finds fascinating on his Aron O'Dowd show, where his heightened sense of intuition allows him to pull the best out of those he connects with, making the impossible possible. Welcome, Aron. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tara. It's great to be from a fan watching in-depth interrogation and conversation. I'm looking forward to seeing where we go.
Well, first off, I want to let our audience know that a little over a year ago, I had the privilege to go on Aron O'Dowd's show, and he and I spoke for quite a little bit of time, and he had said, darling, you should have a show. And I literally sort of brushed that off like, oh, no, that's not a Darla thing. And here we are a year later, and I'm actually really privileged to bring him onto the show to say thank you, Aron, for really seeing, we talked at the beginning of your bio, the fact that you're visually impaired. And what I absolutely love right there is you were able to see who I was a year ahead, and that intuitive ability, you could see something that I was going to be good at that I didn't even know I was going to embark on. So thank you, first off, for the opportunity to be able to, for someone to believe in me, to see something that I didn't even know that was living in me. So it was really a privilege to bring you on and actually talk to you. So I know that you have the Aron O'Dowd show because I've been on it. Now, I think that we have a work right now in the works for a new show. Is that something you have going on right now?
It sure is. Yeah, I have a show coming up on the 2nd of September called A Legend Forged. And it's something different than the Aron O'Dowd show. The Aron O'Dowd show is just understanding and it's kind of like a generalized talk show. But A Legend Forged, it's about people in disability in sports because we all have this unique superpower and ability. And someone who has a disability for a long time, I don't like the word disability. And even though it's stamped, marked, and labeled into the world, I do believe through my own experiences and other experiences that have a disability, we have this different ability that makes us stand out in the world.
I love that. I love the fact that you're bringing it to everyone's attention that we have a different ability. There's really nothing wrong with those. And I love it because when we hear disability, we mean to dis it. We need to, there's a dis-ease, there's an inability, there's not a function. So that word disability really limits people in their belief system of what they're capable of doing. But I love how you're framing that with a different ability. What gave you that insight that helped you to begin sharing that with others?
Someone who I was learning from and coaching from said, and I was in the room, a Zoom room with her, and she said, I said, I got this visual impairment, a disability. And she's like, no, Aron, you don't have a disability, you have a different ability. I got thinking about it and understanding and wondering about, I do have this amazing ability that I can tap into my senses which are quite heightened, both physically, energetically, and yet and see in a different way than I physically can see. And I thought, I and people that have physical impairment, mental impairment, whatever impairment it is, it doesn't make you feel that I don't stand or I'm not normal. You are normal, but you stand out in a unique, special way that showcases who you are. And that's something I say everything I do is a superhero because we're all a superhero in this amazing body that is super. But yet, if you're like, I'm not good, I'm not overweight, I'm blah, 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 whatever the I can't is. But in fact, we have this super being in us and this body to transform and transmute and transmit the messages that flow through one another of us.
Oh, I couldn't agree anymore. My Lord, yes. In regards to what you're saying right there, so when you're interviewing people, because that's what this is about, really
Mhm.
showing you as the interviewer, how is it for you when you get the privilege to sit with someone else and help them to harness and find the story within? What is it like being the interviewer?
It's I describe it as like fishing through the mind. You're out in the lake and you put your worm on the hook and you cast your rod into the ocean or the sea or the lake and you catch someone, and when I say catch someone, someone says, "Yes, I want to be on your show." And it's like, okay, the game starts, the chess game happens where you're thinking about what will I ask them, where will I go? And it's sometimes staring at the ceiling at 2, 3, 4 in the morning or 5, thinking, where would I go? What will I do? And I do prepare, I do research, but once I'm in the physical room or the virtual room with them and everything is prepped and ready to go and thumbs up on all fronts, I just step into this different energy, and that's the intuitive side kicks in. And probably from my days of racing and my continuously days of racing is you just get this sense of, ooh, that's gonna be good. The same way a whale might catch your worm and your line goes spinning towards the thing and you're trying to reel it in. That's because you really don't know where the individual is gonna go. You could ask them a question and they could emotionally be triggered. They could be a story could pop up. They could tell you a funny moment. You really just don't know, and that's what I love. It's like a game for me, and that's what I love about interviewing is, and I do see it as I'm at the pub with them and we're having a drink, and it's so casual, but yet it's so formal at the same time. And I do believe that the best interviews that I've seen and done myself, it's about just having a conversation like we're having right now.
That is beautiful. I love how you do that. You're going off into the abilities of diving deeper into someone else's world, seeing the details, and helping them to really bring out the story. What an amazing gift that you actually have in being able to do this. So, what would you say? How many interviews have you done overall? Do you know that number?
Um, like if I include audio and video, I've probably 300 interviews done. I did audio for a period of time. This is gonna sound crazy, but a vision impaired guy did not like video, and I said I'm just gonna do audio only. I did that for a number of years, and then the world locked down for a period of time, and everyone was transforming and transmitting to video, and I was like, I'm not doing video. I'm sticking to my audio, and everyone's like, come on, Aaron, you need to do video because that's what rules the king of the internet. And I didn't want to do it. And in 2024, I said, all right, we'll do this video thing. And I started going into it and was like, fine, getting used to the camera, getting comfortable being honest, the ins and outs, the nuances of it. And then towards the latter end of 2024, I started live streaming and going really into having an online TV show than just having a podcast.
Wow. So going from audio to video, how did was that really challenging for you?
It was when you were doing it by yourself because you gotta manage the tech, you gotta manage the people, you gotta manage the screen. You know, I'm telling you, turn that left, turn that right, up, down, move your green screen. I was doing it on the fly in the seat of my pants, and visually it may not look the best, but what I realized is I needed someone to help me, and I have someone that helps me prep my video to make me look and stand good on camera because, like I said, I can hear, I can smell, I can touch, I can taste, I can do all that. But regarding of seeing a person on the screen with 30% vision right now, it's very tricky and hard to manage that. So that's why I need someone to tell me, hey, move your green screen left, move that left, get ready, the nuances of it. And now I feel really comfortable on camera, as you can probably see right now.
I do see that. And so, for those out there that are listening, that are in the audience, if anyone out there has a visual impairment or is absolutely blind, and really wanting to do something, what would you say to them?
I would say just jump in and do it. The second thing I would say is find an expert, find a community, find people who can support and help you because as much as we, including myself, think I don't have a vision impairment, I'm able to walk the streets with my cane, and I'm able to cook, and I'm able to clean, I'm able to iron. And yes, that's great because you're using your hands, but being on camera, you really can't use your hands or your senses to do it. So find someone that has an expertise or a good visual eye to tell you, turn that left, turn that right, don't look this way, make sure you're shaved, all the nuances. And I think that's what we all thrive to have in life is a social community of people who can support and help us to achieve our goals, to make it possible.
I think that's amazing. So, really, no matter where you're at in life, what Aaron's really saying is no matter what challenges you may be facing, you're capable, you're able. And he's
Mhm.
saying that your ability is just different. It's not that you're disabled, it's just that no one has taken the time to believe in you. In your world, Aaron, how hard was it in navigating life? Did you feel that you've always had a sense of someone there to believe in you, or did you have to believe in yourself first?
Um, Both. I believe in myself too, and I have this on my LinkedIn profile, making the impossible possible and the champion of life. And the reason I say that is because without the people who support me the best, family, friends, loved ones, etc., I wouldn't be here where I am. It takes a team to make a village, and that's so important because, you know, struggling in trying to navigate this visual world is frustrating. It's difficult to navigate. So find the people who can support and help you and figure out because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be as successful as I am to achieve what I need to achieve. But also tapping into myself, I have this ability to do the possible that may seem to someone, you can't do that, or you can barely see 2 feet in front of yourself. And I'm able to do that regardless of the challenge.
Beautiful. Wow. So I also noticed you said that you are a triathlon.
Mhm.
So how in the world do you navigate the world of being in athletics? How do you manage that?
Um, I'm gonna come back to your question for a second because triathlon is where I'm at now. But I started as a rowing. I raced Labradors downhill on mountain bikes, mountain boarding, climbing trees, trampolines, backflips, front flips. I'm technically an adrenaline junkie, and spending 12 years in rowing, winning races and so on, I just could not sit still. And my nutritionist, who I work with, told me, "Hey, Aaron, why don't you give this thing called triathlon a go?" It's like, sure, I haven't cycled a bike in years, and I haven't swam in years, and I run here and there. And she said, "Hey, I know this coach. Go contact him. He's part of Triathlon Ireland, and he'll support you and help you." And in 2019, I got into the pool for the first time in probably 5 or 6 years, learning how to swim, brush it off. Got running again in probably 10 years before that. And I got biking back again on a turbo bike, which is a stationary bike that connects to my iPad, and I get to cycle the world. And I got to race my very first time in 2021, but man, lockdown was the longest preseason, and but in 2021 I got to race, and how I race is I race with a guide. A guide is a male and a male. We're strapped to either the ankle, the leg, and we're swimming in a wetsuit side by side, like that, if you can see. And then we come out of the water, we run straight to the transition point, we strip off the wetsuit. He's communicating me. Here's your helmet, Aaron. Here's your shoes. Da da da. Here's your drink. If you need a drink, get your snack. We touch the bike. We pull out. We hop on the bike. We cycle on a tandem for 20 kilometers as fast as you can go. We go back to the next transition point, and then we take off our bike gear, our helmet, our shoes, jump into our running gear, and there's a string that I hold in my hand, and we run side by side. And they're constantly communicating, turn left, turn right, come on. And so we're both racing at the same time, but he is my eyes, and yet I'm his motivation, or sometimes he's my motivation. So it works like a marriage. And in adaptive sports, you're constantly in a marriage where someone has to be that eyes for you and communicate to you why you're navigating it. And over time, you're dancing, you're tangling like if you were in a physical marriage of their body, how they move, their character. So when you're in that tired position, you can understand and say, okay, I know this is what his abilities are, I know he's capable of and able to perform, and that's what how I'm able to race.
Aaron, that is absolutely incredible. You know, to know that there is someone out there that has the disadvantages that that some people feel that are completely crippling and unable to make it, and can get so wrapped up in the emotional world of what they're suffering. Here you are, you took the same challenges and decided to defy them and learn how to take yourself to the next level. What is the power within you that keeps you going to the next level?
Darla, I sometimes wonder that myself on the days where it's like I just want to throw everything in the drawer, close it up, lock it up, and I'm done. But I think what fuels me is, hey, if I can't achieve it, how can someone else achieve it? If I can't do it, whatever. So I think it's also the belief that what I set out to do hasn't been achieved. So it's like the dog with the bone. The dog wants to bury the bone in the hole, but he can't find it. And he's walking around the garden looking for where will I bury this thing? And probably that's what inspires me to race and compete at a high level, is to, enjoy the dance of life, being able to do the sport I love. In the shows I do, it's the performance of allowing other people's stories to be uncovered, to allow their story, their mission, their vision, their voice seen, heard, understood, because we all have that ability to be showcased as the superstar that we are, because we're all stars shooting at a super ability. And even in the athletic world, we're the same. In the holistic world, we're the same. Everything we do, we're just this huge bright star that's super and shining through the world.
That is absolute truth. Sorry about the pause. I had my mic muted. I didn't mean to. So that is actually truth. You know, with if everyone would just show up and really be their authentic self, they'd be shining as that star that they really are. And I think that what you just said is absolutely beautiful, because you're showing up, you're doing the things, you're leading with the passion that lives within you. You are the intuitive soul who's diving deeper into other people's lives and transforming other people's stories. You're out there breaking and defying rules that most people are afraid to even tackle. You know, you're going above and beyond. And then, like I said, that intuitive side of you, in the beginning, when we first started the show, I had said, you know, you saw a gift in me for talking with people before I even knew that that was something that lived in me. You really do pay attention. You lead from a heart space. You're an incredible individual. You have achieved things that most people haven't. What is your most favorite award that you earned and why?
Hmm, that's a good one. I have many medals and many things I've been awarded, but there's something I haven't. That's not an award, not a medal, but a cool experience I got to experience. I got to go to space camp twice. And every year in Alabama, Huntsville, Civis, which is a space camp for visual impairment, where everyone around the world, visually impaired and blind, get to go to space camp for a week. And you get to be an astronaut for the week. You get to build rockets. You get to spin around on a ball. You get to be shot up on a roller coaster, feeling like like you're taking off into space in 8 minutes. And it's just a boy's dream to go to space camp. I gotta go twice, and it's one of my favorite. If I could describe it as a medal or award, it is that because you get to meet other people like myself around the world. And even to this day, I've the friendships I made on those two times going to it, I still communicate with them and get to hear what they're doing and so on because we're all, young adults ready to conquer the world. And to be honest, it's an even playground, we don't really matter what we can't or can't see. We're constantly communicating, we're sharing the normal things. What music do you listen to? What movies do you watch? What do you love doing? And there's no boundaries or barriers. It's just people being people, and we're all sharing a common interest of space. And I think that's an amazing adventure and memory I have to share.
What an incredible opportunity that you had. And how amazing is it that you're still connected with some of those people today and
Mhm.
doing the things that you've done or, had the opportunity to grow and develop with others that are like you. What a community that you all have built for one another to stay with one another and do those things, to be able to explore the world together with others who have the same impairment. When we have impairments, sometimes we feel different in the world. How often have you struggled with feeling different than everyone else?
Yeah, that's a good question, to be honest. Sometimes you want to feel as normal as anyone else, and yet you see the world a bit differently. Dara, you talk about how I saw you as a TV host and a show host. What happened is I see people on a heart level and a soul level past the human eyes, and that sometimes is hard to navigate because you're wondering, am I real? Is this? All these questions pop up, but being different, I think, in today's world is becoming more and more important than actually fitting into the mass and being normal. And when I say being normal, we want to have a job, want to be married, want to have kids, want to have the dream house, all these things that we want. But yet we're here, and I do believe we're here for a bigger mission. And this goes back to the intuitive aspect of us that what do I want to build? How do I want to show? What's my legacy? What's all these things? And having a visual impairment, it's hard to do that because sometimes the world is disadvantaged based on the construct and the design of it. Yes, there are movements and stuff moving forward to make it better, but I do think that being different is hard to navigate, even though you may seem doing things normally, but internally you feel like I'm different, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. My challenges are different. I'm hearing impaired, but I have a challenge. So navigating the world with being hearing impaired is very similar. That's why one of the reasons why I asked, because I want those who have different abilities to really hear that they're not alone, that they're capable and they are able if they're just willing to put themselves to it.
Mhm.
And Aron, you are a prime example. If they want to go look up Aron O'Dowd, you can Google him and go look up an amazing amount of information to learn how this guy has just completely defeated all the odds and found a way to really overcome the circumstance. And so that leads me to ask you, for the audience and the listeners right now, how can people come and find you?
I have a website called aronodowd.com. I'm on all the social medias. If they want to go check out the Aron O'Dowd show, they can go to YouTube. And A Legend Forge is coming to a screen near you. My team and I are building out YouTube channels and all the necessary details to make a successful show. So stay tuned to the September 2nd. But if you want to find out more what's happening and all the news, gossip, and what happens at the water cooler, check out my social medias or my website. But I'm excited to show and showcase the amazing superheroes of the different abilities that shine in the world. So, Darla, you're a prime example of that. And thank you so much for doing what you do because it's a pleasure.
So I have one last question. If you could leave the world with one piece of advice or one statement, something that you would like to leave everyone with, what would it be that you would like to share today?
Hmm. Dream, believe, and imagine. Dream what you want to achieve because there are endless possibilities. There's no impossibilities. So dream what you want, breathe into it, and believe it like you're going on a pregnancy where you're going to let me say it again, tongue-tied. You're going to born something into the world and then imagine it because the imagination is what drives and is the fuel, and then get committed and decide. My coach that introduced me to triathlon had this formula, and this formula still exists. I have adapted it to what I feel is right for me, and that's fundamentals plus consistency plus relaxed focus equals success. You are success. But sometimes on the road that we travel, we get lost, we get distracted, things come in our dashboard of us, and we get sidetracked from what we're meant to do, meant to be. And if you go back to the basics, being consistent at the basics, being relaxed in that, in either in meditation, baths, nature, whatever it is, you will achieve success. And sometimes the road may take 10 years, 20 years, 2 months, but at the end of the day, just love what you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Aron, for being on Bridging the Gap to Connections. For those out there, watch, subscribe, and share the show and get other people involved. Let them hear. And please take a chance to go over and check out Aron O'Dowd. This is Darla Williams with Bridging the Gap to Connections. Until next time, bye for now.
Every challenge holds a story. Every struggle is a spark. Welcome to A Legend Forged, where athletes, heroes, and fearless fighters of disability defy the odds and rewrite the rules. Learn to live an unfiltered life with the unstoppable Aron O'Dowd. A Legend Forged begins now.